capital formation? What is capital formation? Anyone?
The increase of capital stock for more production.
In a period of time. Always time period is important. Okay, during a period of time, the increase in the stock of capital is known as capital formation. Okay, you have been told, you're now in 10th standard, you know that keywords should not be missing when you're asking, when you're answering your questions. Okay, so remember, when you are learning for your questions, remember what are the keywords that are necessary for that definition, and those keywords should not be missing from it. Okay, so capital formation happens when your total investment in a year or given time period exceeds the depreciation. Depreciation is, what is depreciation? The wear and tear of machines. What happened? Arya, want to block the video? Okay, so your depreciation is when the wear and tear of your machines or buildings or whatever capital is there, when that happens, that is depreciation. So when your total investment exceeds the depreciation, then only capital formation takes place for that particular year. So factors or conditions necessary for capital formation. These are the factors that influence capital formation, or you can say these are the conditions which are necessary for capital formation. Okay, so there are three stages or three conditions which are necessary for capital formation. First is creation of savings. Second is mobilization of those savings. And third is investment of those savings. Okay, I'll take this one by one. First one is your creation of, what happened? Just wait. Okay, creation of savings. This is the first stage in capital formation. Now, what is creation of savings? Everybody knows what is savings. The part which you take out from your income to be used in case of emergency, or in our case, when we are studying economy, that saving should be that portion which we use to reinvest. Okay, so this saving is done by individuals. Now this savings, how the individual will do this savings, he need to have those opportunities so that he can do the savings, right? For me, for your parents, for whoever is in the working group, we save when we have a proper income. The income that we earn, if it is able to satisfy our desires, the immediate desires, okay, and little bit of other desires, then only we will have a desire to save. Okay, if our income, especially for the lower class, their income is only that much which will satisfy their necessities, yes, what they need to live, their food, clothing, shelter, it satisfies only those wants, so they are not able to save. So the first thing that we need is a desire to save, and this desire to save will come when we have that proper amount of income which can satisfy our wants, and we can have a balance in that we can save. Okay, so desire to save will come from the levels of income. Second is our ability to save. Even if we have a proper income, our ability to save is directed by the tax policies of the government. Okay, suppose in a country, in our country anyways the taxes are too high. Okay, if the taxes are too high, then I will not have a desire to save. How will I save? If I have to pay, suppose 40% of my pay as taxes only, the 60% income is not enough for me to satisfy my wants. Will it be enough for me? Unless I'm earning in millions, it will not be enough for me. Okay, so there the ability to save is directed or by the tax policies of the government. Okay, third is the opportunity to save. Now in our country only, suppose we take valley, that is our JNK, or we say we take northeast, these are disturbed places. Yes, for a business person, for any person for that matter, they will not feel secure in these regions. Okay, and if they do not feel secure in these regions, they do not have, neither have a desire to save nor have a desire to put in their money for any production processes, because they do not feel safe in these places. So peace and security is in the country also gives you the opportunity to save. Okay, these are the conditions that are required to create saving. Now this saving has been created. I have saved some money, you have saved some money, but this saving has to be mobilized also. Yes, it has to go to the in the hands of the producers, who will then use this saving to invest in further production. So for this, we have the banking sector, the banking and the other financial sectors which take the saving from us and make it available to the producers. Is this point clear to you? Mobilization of savings is clear to all of you? Yes? Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
the banking sector and the financial sector is very important here, who take this in. And why will we give our savings to these sectors? Because in return, they give us some interest. They give us that opportunity to increase our savings. Okay. That is why we give it to them. So these savings, when they reach these banking sectors then make it available to the producers, who can then reinvest it in further production. Okay. Third part in this is investment of saving. Here the entrepreneurial class comes, which we are going to study next. Okay. Those people who decide, who are the decision makers of how to produce and how much to produce. Okay. It is these people, the organizations, the organizers, who will bear the risk and invest this saving in further production process. Okay. And what will motivate them? Why would they take this money and invest it? When they are taking this money from the banking sectors or the financial sectors, they have to pay interest to that. Okay, that is why they get the money free of cost. So nobody is going to give you money, they have to pay this interest. So if this interest is less, and if they see where they are using that money, in what production process they are using that money, they can make a large profit out of it, then only they will be motivated to use this saving for further production. So these stages for capital formation are clear to you. These three stages have to be met, until then only capital formation can take place. Okay. Okay, now what is the role of government in capital formation? What is the role of government? One, I told you. What is the role of government? Infrastructure, that we have been studying from start, that they have to have proper infrastructure in place for production process to happen. Okay. Krishna, you're late today. Krishna was present before also. Okay. Yeah, Muskan has not come in today. Okay. Now, role of government in capital formation. First is it should give opportunities for favorable business conditions. Now, what are favorable business conditions? What will be favorable business conditions? What will be favorable business conditions? A good infrastructure. And what else? Stability in the government. Peace. The last topic that we studied, peace and security, that also government only can provide you. Okay, so favorable business conditions will include proper infrastructure, providing of proper infrastructure, even stability of the government, and peace and security in that region. Okay. Technical progress. Government only helps the institute which are involved in development processes by giving them grants, by giving them initiatives to develop more. Okay, so that is where they come in technical progress. Low taxes. I told you, if you have high taxes, whether it is income tax or it is sales tax. Income taxes, which is levied directly on your income. What is sales tax? Whatever sale you do, there is a tax on that, right? The business houses, they pay the sales tax. So if these taxes are high, there is no motivation neither for a consumer nor for a producer to further invest, to create saving. So these should be low so that they can be motivated. I will be motivated because I will get a higher interest rate if I save more. My income will increase. Okay. The producer will be motivated because his profit margin will then increase if he has to pay low taxes. Okay. Sorry. Subsidies. The government also gives subsidies to these production houses. What are subsidies? Anybody can tell me?
Providing goods on a lower rate.
Yes.
Good.
Providing raw material.
Lower rates.
Yes, providing factor of production or inputs at lower rates. Okay, these are known as subsidies. So if the government gives them subsidies, their cost of production goes down. Yes, if your cost of input goes down, your cost of production goes down and your profit margin increases. So then it is a motivation for them to invest. So they can do one more thing that the government can do is introduce compulsory deposit schemes. Okay, like for government jobs, we have to compulsorily give take put some money in our pension schemes, put some money in insurance scheme, which is compulsorily done by the government. Okay, so if the government brings in more of these compulsory deposit schemes, we have to perforce save. Okay, and they can do one more thing is they can put levy high taxes on higher income groups. Okay, so that more savings come towards the banking sector. And reduce consumption. I told you when I was telling you capital formation yesterday, for capital formation to increase, your consumption should reduce. Yes or no? Did I tell you this or not? Did I tell
Yes,
you
ma'am.
yesterday? Yes, I told you your
Yes, ma'am.
consumption should reduce for your capital formation to increase. Okay.
Increase.
So your consumption, when your consumption reduces, automatically your savings increase. You stop, you prioritize your, as an individual, if I prioritize my wants and spend money only on those items which are important for me now, right? The necessities of life, not the luxuries of life. The luxuries of life can wait for me. If I only focus myself on necessities of life, then I will have reduction in consumption and increment in my savings. These points are clear to you? Role of government?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, why do we have a low rate of
Yes.
capital formation? Now, we are a developing country. You know that. You have heard about it. You must have read about it in your 9th standard when
Yes,
you were
ma'am.
learning about Indian economy. We are a developing economy. Okay. So, why we are a developing economy? While we are a developing economy, our rate of capital formation is very low. And this rate of capital formation is very important when we are discussing about GDP, about our growth rate. Okay, this capital formation is very important. And why we have this? Did somebody go out? Krishna, come back. Okay, why this capital? Just wait. Causes for the low rate of capital formation. First is low savings. These low savings are there because we are poor people. We have low income. And why do we have low income? Because our production in agriculture and industries is low. That is why we have this is a circle, right? We have low production, we have low investment, we have low income. It is a whole process. When we have low income, our savings are low, our investment is low, and because our investment is low, our production, our output is low in the industrial and the agriculture sector. Okay, and agriculture sector, you have learned in 9th standard that our production is low because we are still manual, not technical. Yes, we have small farms. Yes,
Ma'am, India uses labor-intensive
techniques rather than capital intensive. Okay. Yes. So first is low saving. Second is habit of hoarding. We all know that we have a habit of hoarding. Instead of putting that money in the bank so that it can be utilized further, we have a habit of keeping it at home. As housewives, you must have heard when the demonetization happened, lot of people took out their money. Yes, from their homes. Yes, so we have a habit of hoarding that money. There is a parallel economy running, if you have learned about it, the black market. This market, they do not have, they deal in cash, okay, so that their transactions are not, they, you cannot follow that transaction, okay. So when they deal in cash, yes. Who is talking? Somebody's younger brother, sister, somebody is sitting. Okay, so they have a habit, they are not showing these cash transactions. So we do not know how much money is circulating in the economy, in this black market. Okay, this cannot be utilized for investment because we don't know about it. Okay, so this habit of holding is also a reason why we have a low rate of capital formation. Okay, then inflation. What is inflation? We
Ma'am,
keep hearing inflation rates are high, inflation rates are high. What is inflation?
Prices of goods become high.
When the prices of normal commodities start, when prices of all goods and services in a country start rising, and then the middle class and the lower class have to suffer, because for example, a few years back, for example, 1 kg dal was for 10 rupees, and after a few years it becomes 20 rupees, like
Yes.
that way.
Yes,
Inflation.
inflation is always over a period of time. A steady rate of increase in the prices over a period of time is known as inflation. And in India, our inflation rate is very high. And when your inflation rate is high, middle class is not able to save because most of their income goes in buying necessities of life. Okay, so they very contribute very little or very less towards the capital formation, and we have a larger middle section than the higher income group. Okay, so we need more contribution from them, which is not possible because of high rates of inflation. Lack of infrastructure, I told you this is the government's thing. They have to provide proper roads, communication, health, education, so that a proper environment is created for capital formation. Okay, roads and communication, it helps in transportation of goods and services. Suppose a person wants to put up a factory in a remote area. If he does not have proper roads, proper communication, he will never put it up because he knows that transport is going to take up most of his cost. Yes, and his cost of production is going to increase just because of transportation only. So he will not be interested in putting up an industry in remote areas. So if the government can provide with these basic infrastructure, health and education for the laborers, we studied that the health, we do not have much of skilled laborers, right? We have more of unskilled laborers, unorganized sector, and the semi-skilled laborers. Yes, in which unskilled laborers are more. Okay, so if they are provided with more education, more technical skills, we will definitely increase our capital formation. Okay, lack of able and skilled entrepreneur, just now I told you, ours is like a pyramid. On top of pyramid is the skilled laborers, they are very less. Then we have the semi skilled, and then the largest proportion is of the unskilled laborers. Okay, lack of banking facilities. After, yes, what happened, Arya, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, so in developed countries, the amount of skilled laborers, semi-skilled and unskilled, they're at parity.
They still have a pyramid structure, but that top of the pyramid is not that skewed. They have more of skilled laborers, and the unorganized sector is less, not as compared to our, and then their population is also low as compared to us. Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what were we doing? Okay, lack of banking facilities. After nationalization of banks in 69 and once again in 80, we have been able to have these banking facilities in remote areas, but still more of these facilities are required so that we can have that proper channelization of, in very small remote areas, in those adivasi areas, people who are dependent on forest produce, you don't have any banking sectors there, right? People have to still, people, there are villages wherein people have to walk to 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers for a small bank to be found. Okay. In such cases, they do not put their savings in bank. They will hold it in their homes only. Right? So we need more of these banking facilities to mobilize our savings. Taxation policies. In India, taxation policies are still not at par with developed countries. We have very high rate of taxation policies and which do not support growth in production. Okay. Insecurities, I already told you, many parts of our country, they face insecurity problems, right? To security to their property, to their life. In these areas, people do not want to establish any type of industry. So that is also a cause of low rate of capital formation in our country. Okay. Now, how can you increase these reasons which we have, which cause low rate of capital formation, only become our suggestions? How we can increase this capital formation? Yes. So we can encourage savings by increasing rates, interest rates, saving schemes, provident fund schemes, pension schemes, compulsory insurance, compulsory saving schemes. If the government introduces these, gives us a good incentive, good rate of interest for savings, we will put our money in these banks, and then these banks can
Ma'am,
give this money. Yes,
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
yes,
If the government provides more interest when we keep the money in bank and
yes,
it gives credit on a
yes,
less of interest,
yes.
won't the bank be at a loss?
Won't the bank be at a loss? No, bank doesn't function like that. When the bank is giving that money to the distribution, to the producers, it is charging interest to them from them also, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it is not that all the cash that we submit, there is a term known as CRR, cash reserve ratio. The entire
Yes.
reserve that we have with the bank, they do not keep it in liquid form. Okay, there is a percentage only, because all the 20 billion people of the country are not going to go to the bank and withdraw their money at once. Okay, it is hardly 10%, not even 10%, who withdraw their
Yes,
money in a day. So they do not keep
Yes.
that much liquid money with them, right? So when they are
yes, ma'am.
paying you interest, they are charging interest from the producers also. So they are earning, and from that earning only they are paying your interest. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So banks don't go on loss. Banks,
Yes, ma'am.
they go on a loss when there are credit defaulters. This we'll do in
Ma'am,
agricultural economy. Yes,
one more thing I wanted to ask.
yes.
The loan also, the provide that also they take from like the the money which is deposited in the bank, no, from
Hmm.
different accounts.
Yes.
So
One part of that is used as loans, to extension of loans to these, but that is not the only way the banks earn money. Banks also
okay,
take loans. Yes, the RBI is there, the government is there, there are government promissory notes, there are bonds through which the banks also take loan. There are financial institutes which give loans to the bank. Okay, so from that way also banks generate money and then provide this money to the producers. Okay.
yes,
Okay, tax concessions we have learned, if they give, if the government can give tax concessions to the private sectors. Okay, there are two sectors, public sector and private sector. You have learned about that.
yes.
What is a public sector?
Now, public sector is the sector which is owned by the
By
government.
the
Yes,
government.
which is under the government. All the entire establishment is under the government. Infrastructure is one of them. Yes, public utility services is one of them. Okay, so that is the public sector. And next is the private sector. Private sector plays a very important role in capital formation. Okay, so if tax concessions are given to the private sector, then they will be the reinvestment will be boosted. Okay, then lifting of restrictions and controls, simplify the procedures for investment. This has happened after 91 when we have had liberalization in economy. Lot of restrictions and controls have been taken out from the government, right? Initially we had a lot of restrictions when foreign money was coming in. Something, a term which is known as foreign direct investment. Yes, the foreign companies were not allowed to directly invest in Indian companies. Okay, so some of these restrictions have been lifted, not all, but some have been uplifted. Okay, efficiency of public sector. Public sector, I just now told you what is public sector. So if the public sector works efficiently, it will be able to generate surplus, and this surplus can be reinvested in the economy. Okay, points are clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I think we have finished with capital. Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes. Now take down the,
ma'am,
yes, ask and take down the homework for today also before the session finishes.
Ma'am,
Yes. Ask your question.
ma'am,
Yes.
you said that if the public sector works efficiently, we will be able to generate interest,
Yes.
right? So
Generate more.
surplus.
Hmm.
But the public sector is corrupt and does not work efficiently, and
Yes.
most of the public sectors are converted into private sectors now.
Yes. That is why we
And
have a problem. That is why we are still a developing economy and not a developed economy after 70 years of independence. Yes.
ma'am,
yes, ma'am.
So these are the suggestions that we can have. The more efficient the public sector is, more efficient the capital formation becomes.
But there are only two public sectors left now, atomic and railways. So we wouldn't be able to generate more surplus now.
No, we will
Ma'am,
be.
I
They
have
are, yes, they are also not functioning properly. And why do we privatize? Why did the government decide to privatize? Because public sectors were not up to the mark. They were not functioning the way they were supposed to function. Yes, private
ma'am.
sector is always motivated by profit. They will try to manage their inputs efficiently. Public sector is not motivated by that. Okay, that is the reason why public sectors do not function that way, because self-interest is not there. Okay, it is public interest. Yes.
Yes,
Who was the next child? Arya. Yes.
ma'am, like I don't want to ask anything, but I want to tell something.
Yes.
Ma'am, now all this coronavirus and all this happening, no?
Hmm.
So there is a sharp slide in the prices of crude oil. So India is getting lot of profits. Like it is $10 for each barrel, and
Yes.
the Indian government has generated a surplus of 15 billion, and the economists are suggesting that we should use this 15 billion for the to provide funds and things for poor.
Yes, we should. If we invest, just now we said, if we invest in this sector, because this is the largest sector that we have. If we invest in
Yes.
this sector, we can increase our production. Yes.
Yes.
That is why they are suggesting. Okay, write down the question. Good point. Explain term capital formation and suggest ways to increase capital formation in an economy.
Ma'am, can you please repeat?
Explain the term capital formation and suggest ways to increase capital formation in an economy.
Explain and ways.
And suggest ways to increase capital formation in an economy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have finished with capital formation. Now because we are left with, I think, 2 or 3 minutes only. Ask if you have any doubts in this.
No.
We have finished this chapter. No, we have not finished. We still,
Ma'am, entrepreneur.
yeah, entrepreneur is left. Entrepreneur is left. Okay. So we'll just start with entrepreneur. I don't know why this thing is hanging. Okay, so when we were doing the factors of production, our last factor of production was entrepreneur, enterprise, or organization. Okay, when do we use enterprise as organization, and when they are two different concepts? Can anybody tell me?
What, ma'am, may you repeat?
I'll repeat. Enterprise or organization can be used for the same thing in one situation. In another situation, entrepreneur and organization are different. What would those be conditions be?
Ma'am, an organization or an entrepreneur, like an enterprise, for example, enterprise, it's a group of people managing land, labor, and capital. So they are taking decisions. Now, entrepreneur is an individual who is part of the enterprise. Like he is an individual who's taking the decisions, and the enterprise is a group of individuals who take that decision.
Okay. Now the simplest difference will be the scale of production. Okay. When it is a small unit, small scale unit, you will have mostly only one entrepreneur who is taking all the decision. There is no organization. It's a very small unit. Okay. What we learn in microeconomics, a small unit. At that time, the organization and the entrepreneur, they become one and the same person. Okay. But when it is a large scale production, you have one person who is the entrepreneur. Under him, there is a group of people who actually help him to take the decisions of how to produce and how much to produce and how much input to be taken and what would be the wages and all the decisions that an entrepreneur is supposed to take. At that time, the entrepreneur and the organization consists of all these people. Okay. And these people are headed by the entrepreneur. Okay. At this time, when it is a large scale production, these two become separate entities. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now let's start with enterprise. I don't know why this is hanging. Let's see if I can find. Yes. No, my computer is hanged. So let's just start with enterprise. What is the meaning of enterprise, entrepreneur, or organization, whatever it is? What is the meaning of it? It is the fourth factor of production. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Everybody can see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the fourth factor of production. Whatever risks is taken, whatever risk, somebody has to decide, right? Land is there, labor is there, okay, and capital formation, that is your capital is there. Somebody has to bring all these three together, decide on, somebody has to bring all these three together, the land, labor, and capital, and decide what is to